up, guys? Rob here with Off-Road Addiction. Grant with Off-Road Addiction. He's one of our master fabricators. Today we are going to do a walk around of our latest super build, which has been appropriately dubbed Black Widow. Once we start looking at it, you can see the color scheme. I think it's a good name for it. So up front we've got Off-Road Addiction stubby bumper, built to be able to have the most ground clearance, most approach angle, so that we can get the 42s up to the ledges before the bumper. Then, Grant, if you'll get that hood latch. And under the hood, if you've been following our videos, you already kind of know this, but under the hood we've got a 450 horse LS3, 300 horsepower to the rear tires on the 42s. It is sitting on 42-inch Nitto trail grapplers, wrapped around some KMC grenades that are custom powder coated red. I guess we can go inside. Inside we've got a Genrite roll cage with some custom PRP seats. We did 4 front seats in it, so the back seats are bucket seats. And they've got custom
that thing smells good.
Embroidery. It does. It's the detailer. He put some really good like citrusy stuff in there. But the seats have custom embroidered logos on them for the customer. As far as fender flares, we've got the Genrite aluminum fender flares front and rear, Genrite corner armor, again 12-inch struts in the rear. We've got the Genrite 25-gallon fuel cell in the back, and then if you come on around back here, we've got Off-Road Addiction rear bumper, Off-Road Addiction, what we call it a tramp stamp license plate holder. If you notice this little camera here, I'll show you why we have that camera. When you open this up, you can't see out your rearview mirror, so that camera is your rearview mirror, so it's on all the time. Pretty cool. So like I was talking about the camera, how you can't see out the back there with the regular rearview mirror, this camera turns on and becomes your backup camera, so you can see everything behind you. You can also insert an SD card in there and record footage. It also has a front-facing camera, so that if you want to see out the front, you can.
Act like a dash cam.
Yeah, like a dash cam. But that is a really cool feature, because when you can't see out your back window because of your 42-inch tire in the back, this makes it very easy to do. So,
what do you know about the audio on it?
The audio, it goes boom, boom, boom.
Okay.
I'm not a big audio guy, but we do have a new head unit in here that has wireless CarPlay. It's got the radio itself has a diagnostic feature, so you can check engine codes, tire pressures, all that fun stuff. It's got Sirius XM. We've got some big speakers back there. There's an amp and a subwoofer.
Let's check those out. Yeah. So are these for like a boat?
Yeah, they're water resistant. Everything on it's water resistant. If you look, you can't hardly see the sub, but the sub is behind the spare tire, or in front of the spare tire behind the rear seats there. Everything's tucked away nice and neatly, so it's not exposed and ugly. But yeah, it's all water resistant, designed to be able to sit outside with the top off. Obviously, I wouldn't take it like through a lake or anything, but
yeah,
it can get wet.
Sub box, I guess, has an amp built into it.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, sitting behind the spare. That's pretty cool.
And then another cool feature about the audio, you might be able to see it better from the other side, but they take the power port out, and our audio shop 3D prints this USB port holder.
Oh, that is sweet. Oh, and it's a Type-C.
Yep.
Nice.
Pretty cool. PRP harnesses.
Yeah, there's that embroidery that we're talking about. The logo. Black Widow. It's also in the Rubicon badging up front. It's a weird looking O. Yeah, let's back this thing up on the lift, check it underneath it.
So underneath is the Off-Road Addiction Super Build suspension. Like I stated earlier, we've got a Fusion Dana 60 up front with our custom suspension design that is triangulated 4-link in the front with a track bar to make it just super driver friendly on the road, but it performs just awesome off-road as well. With the 12-inch struts, we do a completely flat belly so that we get the most ground clearance possible. And then if you move to the back, you see the rear is completely triangulated, so we don't need a track bar or anything in the back. Matched with the 12-inch struts like up front. This is the Fusion Dana 80. It is a little bit dirty. We did take it off-road already and put it through its tests to make sure everything works the way that we want it to. We replace everything. All the brake lines are braided stainless steel from the ABS module all the way to all the calipers. We still utilize emergency brake cables. It's got wheel speed sensors. Cruise control still works on this thing. It can be a daily driver if you want it to be, but it is absolutely a hardcore off-road machine as well.
So what's the process like on these axles? Are they coming this way? What are we doing to them?
So these axles come fully assembled, rotor to rotor, but with no bracketry on the tubes.
Okay.
And so we build all of our own trusses, all of our own control arm mounts, all of our strut mounts. We build all of that in-house and put it all together here. Same on the rear. We build all of our own control arm mounts, the trusses, our truss, everything that has been put on any of this has been fabricated here in-house.
So like you even, I guess like the track bar mount and everything.
Track bar mount, we built that. Track bar we built. Drag link we built. The tie rod we built. Obviously we don't build the ends. Those are rare parts. We've had really good luck with those. It's got PSC hydraulic assist steering.
So the ORIs, what's the big deal on those?
What's the big deal on those? Well, if you look at it, first of all, you'll see how simple the packaging is. You don't have a lot of components there, whereas traditionally you would either have a coil spring and a shock and a bump stop, maybe even a limit strap, or with a coilover you're for sure going to have limit straps and bump stops and sway bars. The strut, we don't have to do any of that. The strut we can get it to where it is so stable that it literally becomes your spring, your shock, your sway bar, your limit straps, your bump stops, all in one unit.
Like all in one cylinder.
They're fully tunable. We can tune them to just about whatever your liking is, whether you want a soft ride or a stiff ride, whether you're going to go fast, whether you're going to go slow, whether you're going to drive it on the highway or just off-road, whatever you want, we can pretty much dial them in and make them work in any application.
Gotcha. So I mean they're fully tunable, like valving and.
Yeah. So
what's the process for changing all that stuff?
So as far as base tuning, you're just going to have oil levels. So there's oil in there, and then your nitrogen levels. Those two are going to get you really close to where you want. Then you also have a rebound adjuster on the strut as well for kind of some fine tuning. And then if that's still not enough, then we can start taking the strut apart and changing some things internally on those. Typically we don't have to go into all that, but it is something we could do if you need to.
Gotcha.
Kind of the process to this is we pull the vehicle in and we immediately start tearing it down. We remove the body from the frame. We remove everything off of the frame. All the suspension comes off. Motor, training transfer case comes out. And then we start cutting brackets. We cut all the factory brackets off that we don't need anymore. As far as suspension wise goes, obviously we don't touch body mounts or anything of that nature, but cut all the suspension brackets off that we don't need anymore. Clean the frame up. Any areas that need a little attention, maybe they got some gouges in them or something of that nature, we clean it all up, make it look like it's never been touched. And then once that is completely ready to go, then we start assembling our suspension components and all our bracketry onto the frame. Once that's fully welded up and ready to go, then we ship it out to powder coat. And then once it gets back from powder coat, we can start assembling all the suspension and the axles, put the motor and tranny back in it, body back on it, and then go rip it. In past, we kind of refined our what we call super builds. We used to, where these towers are, we used to run a crossbar in the body to keep the deflection down when it's flexing. And this year we went in and kind of redesigned everything and built this cross member up here that's fully boxed in, and just gives those strut towers all the support that they need. We redesigned the strut towers completely to make them as strong as possible, and this thing has zero deflection. So now we go inside, and we can show you that again. We go inside and we build a box around that so that the body is still fully enclosed. So when you put a hardtop and doors on this, you don't have any open air to it. It is like a factory sealed Jeep. And that, to me, that just makes it more enjoyable to drive.
Makes it cleaner.
Makes it cleaner.
Yeah, and because we built the cross member that way, we don't have the bar.
We don't have the bar in there.
Going across the back.
Takes up a lot of space.
Yeah, a lot.
It ties the body and the frame together at that point, and can create some noises that are, you know, not super enjoyable.
Yeah. And we wouldn't be able to get our spare back there.
Correct. So this is the Genrite crawler tank. It is a 25-gallon tank. They offer a couple of different sizes, but this one in particular is the 25-gallon fuel tank, and it basically removes the factory fuel tank that goes along the frame rail and puts it behind the axle. It really does a couple of things for us. One, it makes it to where we can triangulate the suspension and make that work a lot better, but it also transfers some of that weight to the back instead of having all that weight on one side. And this Jeep it's almost a 50-50 weight distribution from front to back now. So it just makes it super stable, super predictable on how it's going to handle in the various situations that we're going to put in.
Gotcha. Yeah, and it comes with like...
It's an aluminum gas tank with a steel skid plate. This is I believe it's a 3/16 steel skid plate that the gas tank itself sits into. It accepts the factory fuel pump, so everything just kind of drops in and works like it's supposed to.
Yeah, and it has like a plate in the floor of the back.
Yeah, so now you have an access panel up there. You can just take that plate off and you can access the fuel pump right there.
Yeah, gotcha.
Got a couple scratches.
Oh no! Yeah, so this is the Fusion Dana 80.
Fusion Dana 80.
That is a big dude.
It is monstrous.
Yeah, and these are those brake lines you're talking about.
Yep,
so this stuff ran.
Yep, braided stainless steel. It's
all the way.
Stainless steel with a coating around it. It's run all the way up to the ABS module.
Nice.
So these are the boxes that I was talking about earlier that we build to close the body back up after we have to cut it out to make room for the strut towers. Like I said before, we used to have a bar that ran across here, but with that new design cross member, we were able to do away with that and create a lot more space inside of here and still keep everything sealed up nice and tight so that, you know, don't have any wind noise driving down the road. It's kind of luxurious, really.
Yeah. Genrite cage.
Genrite cage, yep.
And then this bar was added.
Yeah, so this bar was added for the spare tire to lay against, and then we added these hooks here to mount the spare tire strap, and then there's a custom bracket down in here that's got that hook too, so that'll hold the tire in nice and tight. Don't have to worry about it going anywhere. We really try to think about all those little details. You know, we take a lot of pride in what we do, and so we try to make it the best it can be.
And the entire interior has been Patriot line, is that what it is?
Patriot line, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this one was a little bit different because of the fact that it already had some sound deadening in the floorboard, but Patriot Liner did a really good job of going over that, and so it's actually really quiet inside because of that extra sound deadening.
Sound deadening and the coating on it.
So,
and then here's that plate that you can take off to get to your fuel pump and stuff.
Right underneath there.
That's the first time I'm looking at this. It's pretty cool. Little package.
Yeah.
Got the boom booms. So it's done. I mean, I can't think of anything else that would.
No, yeah, it's done. We took the customer out last weekend and let him take it on the trails and test it out a little bit. There you go. Nice. And he's super happy with it. I'm super happy with it. It performed just like it's supposed to.
Yeah. Well, thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah.
When's the next one starting?
Man, whenever you call us and let us start on your next one. No, we got a couple other decent sized projects coming up. We got another Genrite cage with axles and the new GM 6.6 coming up, so that'll be a fun project. And then we got another really interesting project coming up, Dodge Dakota, that we're going to do 1-ton axles under, so that'll be another fun project to follow along with. Stay tuned, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button and liking it, and man, comment, let us know what you want to see. We'll see you guys later.